Welcome back to RPGADay 2017. It's day 14 and the question for today is, which RPG do you prefer for open-ended campaign play? Now, I'm going to say for my answer, Star Wars, without a doubt. Now, you might be saying, hold on a second, John. There's been lots of different Star Wars RPGs. Which one are you talking about? Do I mean the D6 version from West End Games? Am I perhaps talking about the slightly later D20 version from Wizards of the Coast, who they later released a revised edition? I could be talking about that. Or do I mean the even later and even more revised Saga edition that they bought out? Or am I talking about one of the new Fantasy Flight Games versions like Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, or Force and Destiny? Well, as you can no doubt tell by the fact that I've just toted all of these books out of my role-playing collection, I am a massive Star Wars fan. I love the films, I love the cartoons, I love the comics, I love the fiction. Absolutely grand, love all of it. I think it creates a very interesting world that we've sort of all grown up with, and everyone at least has some basic passing familiarity with it. So, in essence, I actually mean all of these books, and paradoxically, none of them. And the reason I say that is because it's perfectly possible for you to run a Star Wars RPG without using any of these pre-published books. You could just fire up Wikipedia or one of the many other sites that provides information on the Star Wars universe, pick your favourite system and run with it. In fact, I've recently converted my Heart of Darkness game from running using the FFG system to using Fate. Yeah, I know, big surprise, I'm running a game with Fate. And that's working absolutely fine at the moment. And part of the real charm of Star Wars to me, as well as the sort of nostalgic charm of it being something that I've grown up with, is the fact that, like I say, most people have at least some basic familiarity with it. Everyone knows the Empire are bad, the Rebellion is good, etc, etc. And yeah, you could say that's a very simplistic viewpoint of the Star Wars universe, but it is what a lot of people tend to think, and it does provide an instant inroad into the Star Wars universe. So, why do I think it's good for open-ended campaign play? Well, the reason is simple. There are some well-defined eras of the history of the Star Wars universe that have been plotted out in the films and various associated media. There's also the legend stuff, the old expanded universe stuff, which you can pull on if you want. And the reason I say it's good for open-ended campaign play is because there are also a lot of these areas that are maybe a little more hazily defined, and it's very easy to plug a campaign into them and without really affecting the canon of the universe. If that's something that bothers you, it doesn't particularly bother me, but I know some people like that sort of thing. Now, for me, in my Heart of Darkness campaign that I'm running at the moment, we're currently running on 4 BBY, which is the year 4 years before the Battle of Yavin, which is the events of the original classic Star Wars film. And that gives us plenty of scope. There's a whole wide universe you can set your game in. I've set mine in a small out-of-the-way sector, and I really did little more than look up a sector that had some interesting names on Wikipedia but didn't have a lot of information on it, and then that allowed myself and my players to fill in the blanks effectively and still make our own campaign world, but have it feel like it's part of the Star Wars universe. The other reason it's good for open-ended campaign play is because if you're running a long-term campaign, one of the things that can be detrimental to it is that often you can start running a little short on inspiration or needing an injection of fresh ideas as time goes on. Now, there is a wealth of material out there for Star Wars, whether you take the the many and various role-playing games that have come out for it. And part of the reason I own all of these role-playing games to some extent or another is because even though I'm probably not going to run an actual Saga Edition game or a D20 Star Wars game, revised or non-revised edition, the background stuff in these books is still great. There's also some very inspiring artwork in there, and there's a lot of stuff available online, like I said, Wikipedia and various other sources that you can pull on, fiction books, etc., comics, that you can all draw on when you're needing inspiration. And I think that's a real help to GMs when they're looking to run an ongoing open-ended campaign play. So, for instance, if my players go, oh, we want to go space pirate hunting or whatever, I know that within a couple of clicks of my mouse and a little bit of typing, I can easily have a history of space pirates and various different organisations within the Star Wars universe. And even if I choose not to use them wholesale and just copy and paste them into my campaign, I can use them as inspiration for making my own material, so it feels like it's got a Star Wars vibe to it. So, there's my answer to this question. Which RPG do you prefer for open-ended campaign play? For me, it's going to be Star Wars in all its many and various incarnations, simply because of the amount of material that is available. Everyone knows at least something about Star Wars, so it's very easy to get into. And it's a popular world of high-action space opera. After all, there's got to be a reason why the films are still so popular after all these years. So, until I see you next time on the Red Dice Diaries, take care and happy gaming. And we hope if you've enjoyed this video, you'll click on like and subscribe to our channel, and maybe check out some of the other videos on Red Dice Diaries. Take care.